Welcome to the Dropship Podcast, where you'll learn how to build and grow a high-ticket dropshipping business and hear stories from successful e-commerce entrepreneurs. Let's kick this thing off.
Hey, welcome to the Dropship Podcast. John here, and it's a solo episode today. So I'm doing a website teardown in this episode. Done a bunch of these in the past on the podcast. They're always good fun, and it's where we look at a live high-ticket dropshipping site, and we'll just go through the website, and I'll share my thoughts on it, what I think's working well, what I think could be improved. And it's a really great way if you're listening in, if you're in the process of building your own high-ticket dropshipping business, even if you haven't started yet and you're looking to learn more about what these businesses are, following along with one of these episodes is very good for that as well. So this is primarily a video episode. Obviously, you can listen to it on the audio if that's where you're at, if you're commuting, if you're driving, whatever it might be. But there is a video that kind of goes along with this. So if you're on Spotify, the video episode will be there. Otherwise, if you want to watch the video, you can, of course, head over also to our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search Dropship Breakthru, and you'll find the video there, which you can watch along with if you would like to see the video and follow along with me while I'm talking on the screen. So for this one, big shout out to Cassie for volunteering the website. I appreciate it very much. The website in question is Angel Aquariums. The business is called Angel Aquariums. It's at angelaquariums.com. Of course, if you're in the US and you are into keeping fish or similar aquatic animals and need any aquarium-related products, hey, help a small business out. Go ahead and hit up Cassie at Angel Aquariums and grab something there for sure. But yeah, without further ado, let's dive in and start looking at this website. Alrighty, so here we are. We're on the home page. If you're following along on YouTube or on Spotify video, you'll obviously see what I'm looking at here. So basically with these, I'm just going to run through various pages on the site. The home page, collection pages, product pages, some of the other pages if I get time, and share my thoughts on what I'm seeing, what I like, what I don't like, what I would change, if there are things that I would change. And so we've loaded up the website here. And I've got to say as well, I haven't visited this website in a while. So this is kind of a first look. So I have no pre-prepared lines or thoughts or anything about this website. Usually I do try to have a little bit of a look to try and find some good pages to navigate to. But in this case, I haven't had time leading into recording this video. So you'll just have to bear with me on that. So it's all going to be fresh and a surprise to me. So I've loaded up the website here, and it was open for a little bit in my browser, and we've got a couple of things that have popped up on the screen, which I just wanted to make a comment about because I think they were good things. The first one, and I don't know if it'll come up in the recording, but we've got the push notifications. So obviously I'm on a desktop browser, and I'm getting the push notifications. I'm in Chrome, and so I haven't used these in a minute, I've got to say. It's been a while. I remember when push notifications first became a thing, and that was super popular at the time, and this is going back years now. And I certainly did use them quite a bit at the time, but I actually stopped using them ages ago. And so I'm curious to know, maybe leave a comment and let me know if you're watching along. Do you ever opt into push notifications? So I don't know if it shows up in the screen recording, but it's the little box that comes down at the top and says angelaquariums.com wants to show notifications, and you can click allow or block. And then obviously the website owner can use that as a tool to send you a notification in your browser when they have something they want to notify you about, like maybe they're running a sale or something like that. The idea is that it comes up while you're at your computer, and you can click on the push notification and go to wherever it is that they want to send you on the website. So I almost never opt into these personally. That may entirely be my preference. I'm not suggesting that because I don't that nobody else does, but I'd really love to know if you're listening in, if you're on Spotify, you can comment. If you're on YouTube, you can definitely comment. Leave a comment. Say, yes, I like push notifications, or no, I never use those. I'd just love to get a feel for where people are at with these in general. So I'm going to block this one. just because I never do. And then the other thing we've got that's popped up on the screen is the email opt-in. So we can see here we've got this email opt-in. Enjoy a free ebook to help you on your journey. Beneath, and the ebook is Beneath the Surface, a guide to aquascaping, which is, as somebody who does keep fish myself, certainly a popular topic in the in the space. People are increasingly creating these really elaborate underwater environments with plants and rocks and all of that sort of thing. Is kind of cool to keep fish, and so it's a on topic kind of little opt in there. Now, if you've listened to me talk before, you'll know I'm a big fan of capturing people's email addresses. I'm a big fan of email marketing as part of our overall marketing strategy for a high-ticket dropshipping business. And so I like to see that this is happening on the website. A couple of things I would suggest with an email opt-in like this is that these days I might reimagine this a little bit, right? So these days the ebook kind of thing, it's a little bit tired, I want to say. Ebooks have been an opt-in that people use for a really long time, right? There is nothing new there, but these days people want something that's quick and consumable and very specific, rather than the thought that I'm going to download some long book, like it might be. They don't know at this point, right? And am I really ever going to read it? Do I want to read it? What am I actually going to learn out of it? These are the questions that go around in people's minds. So you'll find that these days, compared to maybe say 10 years ago, when like ebooks was the thing when I started marketing, to grab opt-ins, or it was one of the things, people would just opt into that stuff, like without even thinking about it. These days, I think that people put a much higher kind of value on their email, and the kind of the bar, if you like, to getting that opt-in is a bit higher. As in, people are looking for something that is more immediately actionable, and that the value that they're going to receive from that thing is quite clear when they're being asked to provide their email, because more and more people are getting more and more emails. Inboxes get more and more cluttered, and often people don't want to add more to that. So, well, I think this is in the right direction for sure. Your opt-in should be very specific, or you'll see greater success with an opt-in where it's very specific about the value that somebody is going to get from it. So obviously this is a guide to aquascaping, but I would be more specific in my opt-in around what the person is getting. Like specifically, what are they going to learn here? Like this is enjoy a free ebook to help you on your journey. That's a very general sort of statement. That's not specific. A guide to aquascaping is a bit more specific because you know what the topic is of it, but still, like what am I learning to do here? What is the key thing that I'm going to know as a result of getting this that is ideally a pain point for me right now, that it's going to solve? It can be just one thing, or it could be more than one things. And so I'd probably make the image a bit smaller, and include just a bit more copy in the opt-in so that I know, like, how long is it going to take me to consume? Because I don't have long, right? So this quick read will uncover for you, blah, blah, blah. Ideally try and base that around a pain point that the person likely has right now. What don't they know how to do that this book, this guide is going to help them to achieve quickly? And in what time frame? Ideally, right? So I don't know the product itself, right? I haven't opted into this, and I don't have I can't give you an example of what it might be, and I'm not that familiar with aquascaping that I can really make it up on the spot. But that's where you should go with these things. Always with the email opt-ins, be very specific around what the person is getting in return for providing their email address. But I like this. I do like this, and I like that we're trying to get emails here without offering discounts, because I dislike that as an opt-in method. So I'm going to close this down now, but hopefully there's an email sequence that sits behind this book as well, that then goes on to offer people the opportunity to purchase aquascaping related products. Once again, I haven't seen the emails, haven't opted in, but hopefully that's good. All right. So, there's a little Shopify cha-ching while I'm recording the message here. Let's see, what did we pull out here? Let's have a look. What's the order? Yeah, I'm digressing here completely. Nice. Look at that. $5,500 order. Awesome. We'll take that. High ticket dropshipping. Gotta love it. All right. So we're onto the website now. Angel Aquariums. Text-based logo is really my favorite these days. Nice rectangular text-based logo. I think that's a good shape to have. You know, the header here, I'm liking this. It's all pretty clear. Phone numbers there. We got a little free shipping on all orders thing here. Good to communicate that. Menu, obviously, you know, aquariums, I guess there's a lot of different parts and bits and pieces that come together, and we can see we've got a fairly long menu here. It fits on the screen. I've got this browser set pretty wide. So obviously, if I bring this down, like if I was on a laptop, we have this problem where it's going to push the menu down. I don't know if you can see me resizing the screen there as I do it. So I might lose or combine some things here. Like things that are not essential as essential. So contact, about us, affiliate program, I would probably put under one drop down, right? So you're just reducing this. I'd probably do that. Even losing the login bit in the menu, honestly, not that many people log in, and they can get to the login from a lot of the emails that your business sends, like the transactional-based emails. There will always be a view order thing, right? So I often don't include that. I don't mind it being there, but this needs to shorten down a bit, I think. Like your affiliate program, for example, there's not going to be many people who come to your homepage who are looking to sign up to your affiliate program. If an affiliate program can be a fantastic thing to do, and I love that it's there, and that you have one, and hopefully there's some proactive actions going into that on behind the scenes, but largely for a high ticket dropshipping business where you're not one of the big platforms that everybody knows or that every person who might be interested in an affiliate arrangement knows, you're largely going to get affiliates because you reached out to them rather than because they landed on your store and signed up for your affiliate program. So I definitely have this, but I would put it in a drop down, and I would have it in your footer as well, because that's often where you'll find that. And people who are affiliates, once again, know to go and look in those places. So I'd say I have a bit of stuff here on the. The other, I'd take away the home. We don't need the home these days either. You can click on the logo to get to your home. Once again, that's something that is standard across all Shopify sites, which is kind of the e-commerce website format that people are used to now. People know to click on the logo on most sites to go back to the homepage. So I'd take that out. Once again, it's not something I ever put on websites myself. But the rest of these kind of make sense. I like the menu, makes sense. We go down now. And the first thing we can see is that we have a slider. I love the images. One of the great things about this niche is that it's a really good visual niche. Like aquariums are beautiful, well set up ones. Like I think they're amazing. Some of the imagery here is quite nice, and I like the high quality images. I don't like sliders though, because they're largely fairly useless, and they slow down your page load time quite a bit. So they load JavaScript and all of that sort of thing for them to work. And the trade-off is not really there. So I would pick one of these images and, maybe change the copy a little bit so that you're just talking about serving people who, are looking to set up their own aquarium. That's fantastic. And go from there. I wouldn't worry about using this as a way to differentiate between salt or freshwater. Once again, there's other ways that you can do that, like down here, our collections. So we've got some featured collections here. These are nice. Once again, that's all good. Nothing much to say there. If these are some, obviously, if you're having like some segmentation here around the different products you offer, obviously put your main products there, put the products that are most popular or the product categories that you either sell the most of, get the best action on, people generally search for, whatever the combination of those might be. I guess these make sense to me, I suppose. And so that's all good. Next, we have our little a bit of a USP thing. So I think this could use some work, the offer stuff here. So we've got free shipping on all orders. That's cool. Free shipping is obviously a good thing to make clear if you do offer it, and we saw it there in the website header. We've got satisfaction guaranteed. Now, this is not one I like. And I don't like satisfaction guaranteed because it's not specific and it's subjective. So what that means is that what does that mean? When I say it's subjective, that means what does that mean? Like define satisfaction guaranteed. Can you provide an outcome? Because satisfaction means different things to different people. Like my level of satisfaction might be different to yours, might be different to this guy over here. So how can you guarantee any one person's satisfaction? Because my satisfaction might be something that you can't reach. And so you don't want to guarantee that because that just encourages people to be dicks, frankly. And it's not specific. Like free shipping is specific because I know I'm not going to pay for a shipping. If you had, say, a lowest price guarantee, that's specific. I know that if I find a lower price, I can go back to you and you're going to beat it. 30-day returns, specific. You've got 30 days to return the product. This does not infer anything specific because once again, as I say, it doesn't, because satisfaction is subjective. It's not a fixed thing. And so I think, we'll obviously look through the site and continue to consider the offer, because that's something that I always talk a lot about. If you've listened to this podcast for a while, you've probably sick of hearing me talk about it, but it is something that is quite important for a high-ticket dropshipping site. We'll probably get to it when we look at some product pages here. So going on down the bottom, we've got our 26 customer reviews. Once again, if you've got 26 customer reviews, I'd probably get some of the actual reviews in here, based on whatever tool it is that you're using. And we can have a little look here, see if I can guess what it is. Rapid reviews. Okay, so we've got rapid reviews. So that app, which is a review app for Shopify, which we've started using in more recent times. So far, it's a recommended one, rapid reviews. There'll be some sort of that app will have a way that you can demonstrate some actual reviews. I mean, this is a nice little widget, if you like, but a little widget like this, you would probably, is something that's useful to go maybe in your footer, right? Or in a small space. For a space like this on your homepage, I'd prefer to see you actually showcase some of the reviews, right? Because there's no way for me to, this isn't clickable, so I can't see any actual reviews. I mean, you're saying you've got 26 reviews and they're 5-star average rating. That sounds good, but I want to see what some people are saying. Customers like to actually read the review text. There's not going to be a huge amount of trust around you, the business owner, just saying you've got 25 reviews and they're all the highest rating possible. And always remember, if you're in the habit of curating your reviews, most review tools will allow you to only show certain reviews and not to show others. And I think the trap that some people can fall into is by only showing their 5-star reviews. And that's actually a trap. Customers don't think about it yourself. If you go to somebody's website and they've got hundreds of reviews and they're only all exactly 5-star reviews, what do you think of that? Come on, that's not for real, right? There's going to be some 4-star reviews. There's going to be some 3-star reviews. There's going to be that odd person who's just, completely nuts, who leaves a completely outrageous 1-star review that you read it and you just go, oh my God, this person's terrible, right? That person always exists. Every business gets some of those, and you shouldn't hide those reviews because it shows you're real. You're a real business. And that's what, once again, that's what customers are looking for. There's nothing wrong with bad reviews. Bad reviews, as long as you respond to them in a good way and people can see how you responded to them, you shouldn't be scared of them. I mean, it happens. Everybody knows it happens. If you run a good business, you're naturally going to get overall good reviews with some bad ones or not so good ones, and that's okay. So I'm not saying that's what's happening here. I just say that in general because it popped into my head. So let's get some actual reviews in here. Join our newsletter for 5% off as a value. Yep. So I don't really like that. I mean, if it's working, it's working. I'd probably use that to showcase your actual email opt-in that you had before, like your ebook type opt-in or some information. I don't really like giving people a discount if we don't need to give a discount for no reason. I think if you're going to give people a discount, it's better to give it like as a low price, as a best price guarantee or something like that, so that you actually have to know that price is an issue for somebody before you give them a discount, rather than just giving everybody a discount and reducing your profitability as a result if you don't need to. But once again, if you've got decent margins, I suppose 5% off is not necessarily going to kill it. So moving on, we have a product, featured products. I mean, that's fine. At the same time, I don't really see the point of offering one product on your homepage. If somebody is interested in this product, they're going to get to it a different way. But nevertheless, that's okay. We've got some blog posts. We'll go and have a look at these blog posts in a little bit if we get time here. But it's good. Share your content on your homepage. That's a good thing to do. Demonstrate a bit of authority. You know what you're talking about. We've got a little bit of an About Us section. That's cool. And then we've got the footer. And in the footer, we can see, it's a pretty standard footer. And that's cool. That's good. That's all it needs to be. Good information here. Nothing that doesn't need to be here. So let's go and look at some collection pages. Standard collection pages. At this point, doesn't look like anything has been added here. And look, from a website teardown perspective, we're not doing an SEO teardown here. We might do one on this site in the not too distant future. And that might be on our Patreon as well. So keep an eye out for that. Our Patreon's coming back. This will be the last website teardown, I think, that shows up here on this particular podcast, on this version of the podcast. The thing I would say about aquariums, like outside of what you need to do, collection pages, sorry, outside of what you need to do to it from an SEO perspective, which is, like how you're approaching the headlines, the H2s, any amount of content that you might put on here. I'm not going to dive into that right now because that might be something that Ben does on this website in the not too distant future, and I don't want to step on those toes. But think about, like, from a usability and conversion perspective, right? When somebody comes to a collection page, the products at the top are going to be the ones that they really think the most about, right? And so I don't know the brands here, or I don't know any of the products, but rather what happens when you automatically build a collection page in Shopify is that Shopify will just, put whatever products at the start here that they want to. And those may not be the ones that you want a customer to see first. So always think about, like, manually sorting, in the Shopify backend, your products in your collection, so that when a customer lands on a collection, they see first the products that they're most likely to buy, right? So, in any category within your site, you're going to have a brand that sells more than the other brands, or maybe you're going to have a few products from different brands that sell more than all of the other products from those brands. In this case with aquariums, maybe there's particular sizes that sell more than other sizes. Like maybe people, they buy the smaller ones or the medium-sized ones more. And so you just want to make sure that however you're loading the products into your collections is that you're actually thinking about it and not just letting Shopify choose the order that people see the products in. And if you've got some sales data and you've got an idea about what products people search for online more maybe, or whatever it might be, make sure you manually sort your collections in the Shopify backend so that when the customer sees them here, they're actually showing up the products first that you want to get. And I think that's about the main thing that I would say here on the collection pages. Otherwise, pretty straightforward. All right, so let's get into a product page here. So we come to this product page, and I'm just going to say, I'm going to go through some different ones just to make sure that they're all the same. Yep, it looks like they are pretty much all the same. All right, so product pages, pretty standard. We've got a heading, we've got some reviews. That's good. We've got the price, nice and easy to see. Very good. We've got some options here. These are fairly kind of, this is the default. And by the way, if you haven't worked it out or you're not familiar, this site is using the Superstore theme from Out of the Sandbox, which is a theme that we've recommended many times on this podcast. And so that's where the kind of overall template / look is coming from. If you're interested in getting that's the number one theme we'd recommend for a high ticket dropshipping business. Go to dropshipbreakthru.com/superstore. I'll put a link below the episode to that. And you can get a hold of a licensed copy of the theme for yourself. All right, and so we've got the add to cart, buy with shop pay comes up here. I like that this at this point, this is pretty clean. It's not too cluttered. It's pretty easy to understand, which once again is good and important for mobile particularly. Now, we always do these things on a desktop, but the reality is the majority of traffic is going to be on a mobile device. And so always remember while you're building a website or making edits to a website or whatever, always remember to check it, have your mobile with you and be looking at it in a standard sized kind of mobile device so you can make sure that any changes or anything that you're building is actually showing up well on mobile, because that's where a majority of people are at least going to be working out whether they like your business or not. Like there are people who discover stuff on mobile and then end up purchasing on a desktop or something like that. That's still, I think, for high ticket products, a bit of the behavior that does exist for some people. But there's very, very few people that are solely desktop based, and that's the only time that they're looking at websites, right, these days. So always be sure to be checking both. So moving down, we see we've got call us for our best price. And then a phone number, which is a click-to-call phone number. So you can see when I hover over it, my cursor turns to the hand, showing it's a link that I can click to. Now on a mobile, if I click that, it's going to open up the dialer on my phone, and I can just call the business with the phone number in it. So this is a good thing to do if you're inserting your phone number into your page to make it click-to-call. Once again, primarily that's a mobile thing. It's going to do something if I click on it on a desktop, but I'm probably not going to do that because I will pick up my phone and call them, right? But on a mobile, it's a good little bit of functionality to have because it just makes it easier for somebody to call your business, right? Don't make them look at your website, then have to go out of the browser and into the dialer and dial the first 4 numbers, and then they've forgotten the rest. They've got to go back to the browser, remember the rest of the numbers, go back to the dialer and type it in. Just make it click to call. It's a simple little bit of coding to make that happen. If you don't know the code, ask ChatGPT. It'll tell you the code. And you utilize that functionality. Now, what I will say is missing on this page for me thus far is the offer stuff. And this is the why people should buy from this business, right? So if we think about it, people are going to come to this website and they're looking for They might be looking for this product particularly because they're familiar with this brand, Liquid Art. And they might be like, well, I want to get a liquid art aquarium. And look, I'm talking in general terms now, even though I'm just using this as an example. And I want their 75-gallon freshwater one, right? So they're already out there looking for this product. They land on the page. Now, that person is often likely to have a number of other browsers open with the same product from other resellers, right? So a high-ticket dropshipping business, you're a reseller, which means you're usually also not the only reseller of the products that you're selling. There's going to be a certain amount of competition out there. Hopefully there's not too much, or and if you've set your business up in the right way and you've been following along with us, it shouldn't be too much. But there's going to be other people selling it. And so the question that's going on in the customer's mind is, why? Who am I buying from? Like when you're dealing with a product, and once again, this is different from a brand that sells its own product and they're the only person that sells it, right? For those type of e-commerce businesses, the question ends of should I buy ends with, is this the right product for me, right? And I can't get it from anywhere else. So they're comparing that product to other similar products in the market, if they exist, and the choice to buy is based on the product from that business. But when you're a reseller, the question doesn't end with, is it the right product to buy? The customers, yes, they are going to need to answer that question about, okay, is this 75-gallon freshwater aquarium by Liquid Art the right product for me to buy, right? And if they know that, either when they come to this site or they already knew it and they're just on Google searching for the product, right? They're going to be looking. They're going to see that some other people sell it, as well as Angel Aquariums. They're actually, once they're satisfied about the product, they're going to go and they're going to have a read of what is some of this hopefully useful content down here. But they're going to come back and they're going to be like, okay, so it's the right product for me. Who's the right person to buy it from, or the right website? What's the right business to buy it from? Who do I feel best about? Who do I trust the most? Who's got the best price? Who's putting anything else along with the purchase of value to me that I might be that might help me consider whether this is a risky purchase for me? It's $2,000. It's a glass product. It's going to ship to me. Am I concerned about things here? Is there some level of risk for me here? This is what's going on in people's minds, subconsciously as well as consciously. So it's not just a conscious mindset that everybody sits down and asks the question proactively in their head, what's the best place for me to buy from, right? It's not like that. It can be like that, but there's actually some stuff that happens before that that's subconscious in our mind. So part of your job as a high-ticket dropshipper and a reseller is to make sure that you're making it very plain for people why they should buy from you. And so you need to communicate this page, the product page, is the point that decision is made on your website. Now, you absolutely should talk about why people should buy from you elsewhere on your website, right? Repetition in marketing is good because it helps things to stick in people's minds if they see it multiple times. So like somebody might come here and then they'll be like, I don't know about this business. I'm going to go and check out their About Us page, or I'm going to go and check out their homepage, or maybe I'm going to go and check out their blog content. And so if on some of those pages they also see the same reinforcing message around why they should buy from you, and it's consistent, it starts to sink in, right? Because it's repeated. And so that's a good thing. But what I don't get on this product page at this point is a clear kind of argument about why I would buy this product from this website. Now, I see we've got call us for our best price. But once again, that's your best price. That doesn't mean the best price, right? So now I do like that. Like, I don't know what stage this business is at, sales or revenue wise, right? I'm kind of blind on that. But generally for high ticket products, one of the things you want to try and do a lot of is to get customers on the phone. You sell more products when you speak to customers, right? It's just easier to make sure it's the right product for them. It's easier for them to build trust with you because they're dealing with an actual person who's nice, who's helpful, who cares about them. Hopefully that's your customer service at least. And And so you're just going to convert more when you have somebody on the phone. So an easy way to get people to call is to tie the act of calling into price, particularly if your business is earlier on, right? You can sometimes feel like you're kind of scraping a little bit to get in touch with people, and you kind of build up a bit of momentum and to get things going. Often price is an easy thing to tie into, but making it about price also lets you test the idea about how important is pricing in my niche, because that can vary. I've seen niches where price is the biggest issue that determines who people buy from. In others, it's not. Price is not really an issue. It's other factors for the customer. And so this can lead you down some paths, knowing that. Am I in a really price-sensitive niche or am I not? The easiest way to do it is to say, call us to get a great price, and there's a specific way to word that, I think. And if you notice you get more calls and people are asking and talking about that, then you know that that's a place where price is sensitive. Similarly, I mean, if you put that on your website and you get 0 calls as a result, probably not something that people really care about, and therefore you don't need to offer discounts either. Because if a market isn't financially sensitive or price sensitive, don't offer discounts if you don't, because you probably don't have to. More profitable as a result. So anyway, call us for our best price. So I would like to see in this section here, or around, it could be above the add to cart, I want to see on this site, a few main hit points about why somebody should buy from this business. Right now, I mean, we did shipping has obviously been mentioned, and so I've gone off the homepage. I don't see that top bar that said free shipping. So think about if I'm a customer, I don't know if it's supposed to come back. It's not coming back. Once again, starting with Google shopping traffic, they're coming to this page. I'm not seeing anything about shipping above, kind of in the top section of the page. Now, I know there's a shipping tab down here, and there's a Why Buy From Us tab here. And if I click into this Why Buy From Us tab, you can see here's what sets us apart. Hassle-free returns, unmatched quality, we care about you, free shipping on all orders. So there's 2 things there that I like, right? Free shipping on all orders and hassle-free returns. Enjoy a 30-day easy return policy for peace of mind, right? Unmatched quality, I care less about, and we care about you. That's nice, but it's a platitude. Once again, platitudes aren't actually part of an offer. I don't mind if you say it, but of course you're going to say it. Because what's the opposite? You're going to say that you don't care about people. So you try not to say things in your marketing that somebody would read it and go, yeah, of course you're going to say that. You're the business. You're going to say that to try and get me to buy off you. People don't that doesn't have any effect, because the opposite of it is not something you would say. Are you going to say, quality is another one. It's a platitude, right? Yes, your products probably are high quality, but what merchant is going to say our products are not high quality? Everyone's going to say they're high quality, whether they are or not. Even if they're low quality, nobody's going to say, well, hey man, buy from us. We sell low quality products. Buy from us. We don't give a shit about you. Nobody says that. So on the flip side, you can't say that we have high quality products and we care about you, because of course you do, right? So like I say, you can say that stuff, but don't expect it to have any psychological or persuasion effect on your sales, essentially. Whereas hassle-free returns, and once again, this denotes, where I was speaking earlier about your offer being specific. Enjoy a 30-day easy return policy for peace of mind. So 30 days, easy return. So 30 days return period. I know that that's there. Free shipping on all orders. Once again, that's specific. So the problem with this stuff is it's in this tab. Now, there's nothing wrong with having the tab there, but the reality is most people aren't going to click into that tab. Some people will. And so it's fine to leave it there, but it's down the page, particularly on mobile. It's going to be quite a ways down the page. It's not the first tab. And so most people aren't going to know that you're talking about that. And I talk a lot about, when it comes to offers, about perception is reality, right? So if I land on this page and I look at it and I'm on a mobile, particular, or even if I'm on a desktop, right, I'm going to start looking into this. I'm going to forget that there are even tabs as I go down here, right? As I get down here, and now I'm going to leave the page, right? I'm not going, oh, I'm going to read that tab, read, scroll back up, and then go, oh, now I'm going to click on this one, read, scroll back up, and now I'm going to click on this one, read, and blah blah blah. Like this isn't the behavior. And if you put Microsoft Clarity on your site, which is a free tool which allows you to record user sessions, literally use that. How many people click into that why buy from us as a percentage of your website visitors? So that means if nobody clicks into it, nobody's seeing what's in there. So the perception that people have is not that you have free shipping or that you have a returns policy. It's that you don't. Right? So if somebody doesn't know something exists, they don't presume that it does exist. That the automatic presumption in our mind is a negative one. It's not a positive one. So my thing here, if I've got another website open in my tab and I'm looking through here, I'm like, oh, what's the deal with shipping? And somebody else is saying it big and bold on the website. We've got free shipping. We've got great returns. Maybe we've got a low price guarantee type thing. They're going to automatically gravitate. And let's say there's some good reviews thrown in as well. You've got some reviews on this product here. They're going to automatically gravitate towards that other website. Like the time that you've got to hit people with this stuff is 10 seconds or less. That's the average attention span online for a single page on a single visit kind of these days. If you're not grabbing somebody in that 10 seconds, you're gonna have less interest. So, so that's what I would say about that. So I want to see the offer coming here. This is the part of the web of your product page, which is the page where a lot of traffic will go if you're running Google Shopping ads, of course, and where people will make the final decision or start making the decision to buy. You can also put this USP stuff or USP/offer, same thing to me, on your cart page, which is another point where they're continuing with that decision-making process. So I want to see it around here. Some people will put it, under the price, above the add to cart button. Some people will put it below the add to cart button. I really don't care. As long as it's further up the page, like before they get to the description stuff. And you just want some dot points. So you've already got them. You got free shipping. It's good to give people, if you can on your page, like an estimate of a shipping time. Ships for free in the next whatever days or something like that, right? Once again, more specific. This is a question in somebody's mind when it comes to shipping. Is not just what's it going to cost me or is it going to cost me? It's also, when am I going to get the product? Am I going to get it in a week? Am I going to get it in 2 weeks? Am I going to get it in a month? Am I going to get it in a day? Once again, for some customers, time may be a factor. So for some, it won't be, but for some, it might be. And so if you can communicate anything around timeframes with shipping, once again, it just makes what you're offering people a little bit more enticing. And so it's a good thing to do. So I would talk about my returns policy here. Once again, particularly for the aquariums, like I said, it's a glass product. Like a lot of people assume that you can't ship glass products safely. I know this just from people who I've, in our course, Dropship Breakthru, I've done, niche selection for, and they've been thinking about something that's glass that involves glass. And they're like, oh, I don't think I can ship that. It's glass. Won't it break? And of course you can ship glass products safely. I know people who sell mirrors where you might think, oh, they must break a lot. They don't break a lot. I used to sell a lot of glass lights, chandeliers. Breakages were generally very low. I wouldn't say they never happen, but they're very, very low, much lower than you would expect. But the customer might be concerned about that. So for these sort of products, like anything you can give them provides certainty around this. So is the shipping insured? What happens if there is a breakage? Like I might even make something specific in my offer around that. At least maybe just that appears on the aquarium pages, right? Because once again, lower the risk reversal. Like if it breaks, we'll replace it or something along those lines. might help. And remember, you can have different offers on different product pages. It's very easy to create multiple product page templates so your offer is baked into the page template, and then apply those templates to different products. So if you want to put some aquarium, like these glass products, specific bits to your offer in, but you don't want it to, say, appear on a product page for a pump, well, you just have two different page templates with different offers on them. For the pumps, you apply one page template. For the aquariums, you apply another. And that's totally a much easier thing to do in Shopify these days than it used to be. So you can do that. So I'd have returns, I'd have free shipping, I'd have timeframes around shipping. I'd talk about something specific around breakages, if you can offer any sort of thing there. And then I would probably go with the price, but I want to change this. And I would change it for, there might be some niche specific reasons you wouldn't do this, but I would change this. I mean, if you really want to get people to call for this, I would say something around implying that if they call, they'll get the lowest price in the market, not your lowest price, because once again, that's not really very useful, because like if they've already seen a better price or they've already got a better price from somebody else, they don't know if your lowest price is beating that. So what's the point of calling you? I mean, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I've already got the lowest price over here. I'm just going to go buy it. So I would say something like lowest price guarantee, or we will beat any price. Right? I would do one of a variation like that. And then call us, right? Still call us to get it, right? Because you can't, particularly on products in the US that are MAP related, you can't offer the lowest price in the market usually. But you can give somebody by phone whatever price you want to give them via phone, or via email often as well. So that's how I would tweak that up. So I'd want to display those things somehow in this area here. I would get rid of this little share this product. People rarely do that. Maybe Pinterest, in some niches, they might share it, but even then, it's not a big thing. So I would get rid of that, share this bit. It's just a theme functionality. You can turn it off. I would turn it off. I don't think it's very useful there. So heading on down into the description here, I got a nice little heading here, which is not bad. Now, the thing I don't like about this description is obviously how it is displaying on desktop. So it's displaying as the column over here. I also don't like that this is a H1 heading. So you need to fix this, because this up here is also a H1 column. So your product title is a H1, right? You should only have, for SEO purposes, and I said I wouldn't do SEO here, but I just can't help myself. This is a H1. At the moment, this is also a H1. You can't have two H1s. So this should be a H2. Your heading down here should be a H2. So for this specific website, we need to change that. Any heading such that appears down here to a H2. You never, on Shopify, never need to set your own H1s, almost ever. They are always the page title, the collection title, the blog post title will always be automatically a H1. You need to then go to H2 for your next title on the page. So change that up. I mean, I don't have anything too much to say about that. I kind of dive into a world of unmatched clarity, strength, and style. Look, it's borderline for me. It's almost a little bit over the top, because if you use a word like unmatched, you can't use it again anywhere on your, like, you can't have 5 products that are all unmatched, because then they would be beating. How would they be beating each other? One's got to be the best, right? So I don't like too much going into saying one product is the best at blah, 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 blah. It sounds a little too hypey for me. But, like I say, this one's borderline. You could get away with it. It's not terrible, but maybe it's a little over the top. And then we go into some dot points here. So I do like this. Being somebody who is familiar with aquariums, certainly these are some of the questions you would have. I mean, you're thinking about clarity, you're thinking about strength, how it looks like in your home. What's it actually look like? What's the viewability of what's inside it? So whether it's framed or frameless, and then how is it going to sit with your other sort of equipment around, your filtration, your air supplies, lighting, all of that sort of thing. So I like that. I like these dot points, and these are actually a good little example of the structure that you would have around. So these are basically a feature, benefit, outcome statement, right? So we're talking. These are features: superior clarity, 17 times stronger and safer. It's frameless, and it supports customizable filtration. These are features. So what you don't want to do on a page is just rattle off a long list of features by itself. What you want to do is break each feature down into a statement that explains like how the product provides the feature, so that people understand it. But then you don't stop there either. You want to talk about, and what is the outcome? What is the benefit of how it does it? And what is the outcome of that? So let's break that down in this first one. Superior clarity. Liquid art acrylic, which is presumably the trademark term for a material that is used in the construction of this, is 40% clearer than glass. That's a big claim. That's a big number. That sounds good. Eliminating tint and distortion. So that would be the benefit, right? The benefit stops there. So the feature is liquid art acrylic. The benefit is 40% clearer than glass, eliminating tint and distortion. Now, you don't want to stop there, though, right? Because like you don't want to assume that people understand what is the outcome that eliminating tint and distortion is for me. Now, sometimes it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that people understand what that means. And when you're communicating to people online, you really have to dumb it down, like way further than you think you need to, right? And explain to people, why is eliminating tint and distortion a good thing? And we kind of go there for an unrivaled viewing experience. That's the outcome. The outcome is an unrivaled viewing experience. Now, I think you could probably do it better than using kind of that unrivaled viewing experience. Once again, it's a little not specific to me. So that you can, get the best possible view of your plants and fish, or your aquascape, or whatever the crap's going on in the tank, right? I'd be a bit more specific than unrivaled viewing experience, but this is absolutely a great format to take with features, benefit statements. Similarly, 17 times stronger and safer. 17 times stronger is the feature. 17 times stronger than glass, providing a secure and reliable environment for your fish. So that's the, unlike glass, acrylic resists shattering. And so, eliminating the risk of dangerous shards and ensuring the well-being of your underwater world. So once again, feature, benefit, outcome is there. I think, once again, you could dig into this even more, right? I don't know that eliminating the risk of dangerous shards is the number one outcome that you want with that particular thing. The risk of breakage, like, if your aquarium broke like completely, dangerous shards is actually probably not the thing that's going to be at the top of your mind. If you've got a tank like this, like in the image, that costs you money. Particularly if you've got exotic fish species that maybe you bred, maybe you paid a bit of money for, maybe they're not easy to get for you again. Maybe you're like, these are your pets. These are people's pets, right? So people are financially invested into like creating something like this image, but they also have a personal connection. This may seem weird to some people, to the fish that are in the tank. Like I think of my fish, and I've got some interesting ones and some less interesting ones, but I have this goldfish in one of our tanks at home, and she's an absolute fucking monster. Like, she's 3 or 4 times bigger than every other goldfish we've ever had. She has a personality, right? Honestly, it sounds weird. I know it sounds super weird, but she has a personality. And to be honest, she's been with us for a while, probably 3 or 4 years now. And I know she's a female, right? She's had babies and stuff like that. And so I would be, honestly, a little bit sad when she dies. I mean, she's going to die. She's a fish, right? And certainly I would be a little bit sad. And I'm not an incredibly sentimental person. I think people would get way sadder than John would get at the death of a fish, but particularly when they've lived with for quite some time, and some fish can live for quite some time as well. I'd really go hard on that. Like, the outcome being so that your investment is protected, and your, fish, you never have to worry about your fish dying, essentially. I don't know what the right terminology is that's niche specific, but I would go somewhere like that for that type of thing. Like, really dig into what's the fear. Like, if you've got a feature that protects somebody from experiencing something that they are fearful of, really twist the knife into that, because that's what gets the emotional response. People need to feel emotion before they will buy a product. Like, there has to be some sort of emotional connection. This is how we make the decision to purchase. Our lizard brain, which is the subconscious kind of primordial brain that we all have inside us that you have zero control over. You like to think you do, but you really don't, right? That triggers emotion, which we then support with logic, which is the bit you do control and you're doing, right? Which is where you compare things and you think about the price and does it support it. But the reality is, if you felt the right emotions first, there's no way you're not buying the product. Your logical mind will actually convince yourself that the emotion is right, and it will use things like price and size and blah 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 to support the decision that you've already made. Right? This is how people's brains work when it comes to buying things. And so if there's a fear, dig into it, twist it, and not like in an untruthful way, but use it to your advantage, because you'll spark emotions, and you'll be more likely, one, that your copy stands out from other people's copy on the product page, but that people will actually be persuaded to buy your product from you, and so on. So I actually like this setup. You could put a little paragraph in before it, but I don't mind this setup. I like to focus on, make it dot points. Once again, people's time online is short. Attention spans are short. So hit the big points about why people should buy a product from you, and what the outcome of its main features are up front. I like that. We talk about what comes with my order, why choose acrylic over glass. These are some good questions, potentially. We've got dimension specifications. That's all good. So that's all good stuff there. I actually don't mind that. We've got some reviews. Not bad reviews. Sometimes what I would do as well is grab a review and put it, if you want to put something like a product specific thing, put some reviews up here. Like, you've got the 2-star reviews here, but I might and you can even just screenshot it as an image and just create a little image out of it and insert it into your description so people can read it while they're consuming the description as well, rather than, once again, having to scroll further down the page. If you've got this is a good review. Love it, by Jeremy. Purchased this to make my dream planted tank. Everything arrived on time and in perfect condition. Can't wait to see how everything looks once established. It's exactly the sort of review you love to see. even this one, 4-star one, I mean, absolutely perfect, by Melanie. I mean, that's a decent enough review. And so you could feature that as well. So not a bad job here. On desktop, this should really be in a single column though. So it fits across the whole screen. Obviously for on a mobile, this is going to be into one column like this. That's fine. The one thing I would say is I'd probably change the font. I think you're using a single font for headings as well as body. I don't like this kind of bolded, narrow font. Once again, on mobile, it's going to be harder for people to read than a more open, slightly thinner lined font. I can't remember all the font names in Shopify that are kind of, but you probably want to use a different font here. Once again, smaller thing, but the easier it is to read, the better. And anyway, you've got dot points. So you see here on this paragraph how the dot points are kind of separated out into more like paragraphs with a spacing in between them. Whereas further down here where we've got the why choose acrylic over glass, they're not. Once again, this looks harder to read. And so our eyes are really lazy. Once again, it's a little bit of a subconscious thing. If we think we're going to have to work hard to read something, our brain will dissuade us from reading it or try to, and we'll just scroll past it, right? Whereas when you've got the spacing, it's a lot easier on the eye. So however you got this spacing in here, do it for any of your dot point areas. Like you've got 2 more dot point areas here. You got a bit better spacing around the dimensions, but just space those dot points out if you can. So you have a break in between each dot point, and that will make it easier for somebody to actually consume the content, which can then have the effect that you want it to have on the customer. But otherwise, this is not a bad job. I like. There's a lot of things to like here. The biggest thing that's missing is the offer. Otherwise, it's nice and clean. The add to cart button's a good bold color that kind of stands out. It's you probably don't want it to be the same as your branding color, but you don't use that blue too much in any other way. So it's kind of unique down here, which makes it stand out, which is good. I'm just trying to think where else can we go here? Blog posts. Let's have a look. So once again, we've got blog posts here. I'd kind of once again, I won't talk too much about this from an SEO perspective, once again, because I'm kind of hoping Ben might have a look at this for an SEO teardown in the not too distant future. Like some of these blog posts, I kind of don't understand, and I'd be happy to hear, if we want to take this conversation along somewhere else with the website. But I don't really know what the point of the page is. Like, this is obviously a product, and I assume this is a product on the store. So, like, what role does this page serve? Because as far as a blog post is, I mean, it's fairly pointless. Your product title is just a different variation on the main keywords for the product page. So, why is this here? I mean, are we trying to rank this collection page for the product title? Because Google's probably not going to put a blog post ahead of the product page, and it's probably not going to put them both on the same search results page. So you kind of have a risk here that you're going to, if you've got 2 products that are essentially like Lifeguard 22-gallon ultra clear rimless aquarium is the same keyword as 22-gallon ultra clear rimless aquarium by Lifeguard. I'm going to almost 100% bet without looking at Google search results myself. So what is going on with this would be my question. And then, yeah, so I don't really understand where some of these blog posts fit in. I'm not really seeing the SEO. What I'd like to see people like this one's a good one. JBJ Aquariums versus Red Sea Aquariums. Now, if this keyword exists, this is a good piece of content, right? I would prefer to see people at the moment, I think, with high ticket dropshipping businesses, building content that goes after keywords, so you as part of your SEO strategy, rather than just creating content for a content's sake. So like I would assume that this is an SEO keyword that's come up in your research, in which case this is absolutely the sort of page that you want to go after this with. Now, content aside, what the content is like, maybe the content could be a bit better, but this is the sort of one to have. Whereas, there's some good ones. Why is my aquarium cloudy? How do I fix it? Okay, yep, that's a good one. Like, I could see somebody being on Google and typing in, how do I fix a cloudy aquarium? Or why is my aquarium cloudy? Like that, and once again, that's a good piece of content. A lot of these are probably okay, I think, but the product page ones here, I'm not sure I understand the strategy behind that. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I might be missing something. How to choose the best LED lighting for your saltwater question. I mean, if that is a question that you see come up in like keyword research or like on Answer the Public or something like that, that's a good one. This one probably not so much. As an example, like the power of plants, live plants for a thriving aquarium. Like, what's the search term here? I mean, doesn't really, none of this reads like it would equate to some sort of search term. So once again, I wouldn't really waste time with some of this stuff. If when you're at the stage of business that this one's likely to be at, or for anybody who's just starting out, like don't go for this sort of stuff. Go for keywords that you find, and get your keyword in your page title and in your opening copy. So yeah, but look, overall, I mean, I like where this website's going. There's a lot of cool products on here. It's definitely the niche itself. I mean, it's a good example of an enthusiast based niche. People, it's very specific. There's multiple products. There's, I would assume there's quite a few brands. We've got a few there. There's going to be a lot more. There's the ability for repeat business from the same customer, which is something we look at. I don't know what the competition is, but certainly ticks a lot of the boxes that you would want to see ticked. And it's a good example, I think, of at least the basics without being in the market myself. And this is one I've never actually been in too deeply myself. So without seeing it from the inside, this is definitely a good example of a lot of the things that you look for in a high-ticket dropshipping niche. So I think this website's on the right track, definitely. Just from a website perspective, like I say, I'd like to see a bit more work around the product pages. But once that work gets done, I think it's going to be looking really solid. And then it's just going to be a case of building out, getting more brands, more suppliers, nailing the SEO, and of course, just getting more of the good quality traffic into that website once into those product pages once they're up to scratch. So thanks once again to Cassie for volunteering this website. We're going to wrap it up there. I hope this was useful for you. And we'll see you soon on the Dropship Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Dropship Podcast. You can find all the show notes for this episode at dropshippodcast.com. And if you're ready to take the next step in your dropshipping journey, we invite you to join us inside Dropship Breakthru, where John and I will walk you through step by step in starting your own high-ticket dropshipping e-commerce business. But that's not all. Dropship Breakthru will also teach you everything you'll need to know to grow your business and take it to the next level. So head over to dropshipbreakthru.com and sign up for our free training that will help you take the first steps towards building and growing your own profitable high-ticket dropshipping business.